Hi everyone, meteorologist Tracy Hinson here with a weather impact alert from 5 on your side. We are going to see snow now for the next few hours. It's light in some areas, but it is overtaking on our roadways in a few spots. I have heard that 61 in Troy is shut down in both directions due to crashes. We are seeing quite a bit of road congestion there. So I'm going to go over to our radar view and then I'll also talk about our traffic. But first, our radar view. You can see this is just over the past 4 hours. Just like typical snowfalls, we have some bands that are heavy and some bands that are a little bit lighter. So it's really going to depend on where you are. A lot of this is concentrating over Interstate 70 for us right now, and that's what's causing some of the issues on our roadways. Let me go ahead and show you what our traffic maps are looking like. So there's that snow overlay on top, and then when you put the traffic maps up, what you'll see is some congestion out there in a few areas. It's not going to pick up on every crash. It is a weekend. Each of these crashes are put in manually, but I can tell you that along Interstate 44, we have 3 lanes blocked at the right-hand shoulder due to a crash westbound after exit 266 Lewis Road. So that is 3 lanes blocked and the right-hand shoulder due to a crash on 44 westbound after exit 266 on Lewis Road. That is on Interstate 44 westbound. And then on 270 southbound, the entry ramp from 170, there's a northbound crash. So that's the entry ramp to 270 southbound from 170 northbound lane is blocked due to a crash. I also want to show you this area here. Bring it over a little bit closer and zoom in. So this is what we were expecting. This is a good amount of snowfall that has fallen along Interstate 70 from Jonesburg all the way to Forestell. Now, why is 70 a bit busy heading westbound today? Well, that is because Columbia in Mizzou has a game today against Arkansas, so I would expect quite a few people making it out that direction for the game today. It will be a bit on the snowy side, and you're going to see that delay. There's also our weather tracker has been on the road this morning. Maddie is driving the weather tracker this morning, and she has texted me saying that snow plows and clearing operations have slowed down the roads, which is good. It's better to go slow than to go fast, but they are working to clear the road, so you may be behind some of that slower snow plow traffic. Be sure you don't tailgate them. You never know when they're going to have to make a stop. So right now, another thing to show you as well, just if I zoom into a few different areas, what we'll see is our bridges and our overpasses will all show a little bit of slowing right now, and that is due to that snowfall out there. Now let's go to our computer models here. So through the rest of our day today, we're going to have this snowfall stick with us. The models are playing a little bit of catch up right now because most of our area has been cold enough to see snow. It's still going to show some rain in the Rolla area. Instead of that rainfall, I do expect this to be more like very light snowfall. So here's our future cast. This is going to track through. Here's 11 a.m. for us. We have some more of that moderate snowfall here. We're still over the St. Louis area. I do expect it to be cold enough for snow even in this area, and our models are still trying to catch up on that right now. But that rainfall, that'll just be light snow, and I think most of this heavier snowfall will be right along Interstate 70. Further down to the south, you'll have lower snow totals. Further up to the north, you're going to have higher snow totals. This then does start to move away by about 4 or 5 o'clock. I think our peak issues along the roadways are going to be between 11 and 3. It will get better as we head into the evening. More time for our trucks to be out there salting, and might even have to push a little bit of snow today. Let's talk about our weather impact here. So this will be through 6 p.m. tonight. I do expect difficult driving conditions. And then one thing I'm going to want you to do is to salt your walkways, especially underneath your car. So if you're out driving today, your car is going to be warm. You're going to park in the driveway, which will have probably a little bit of snow in it. Even in some areas, just a dusting can cause issues. Underneath your car after you've been driving around, it's going to warm it up. It's going to melt things. It's going to spread. It's going to ice over tonight. And when you walk to your car, that's where you can slip and fall pretty easily. Another thing for our mail carriers, be sure you salt all the way to the mailbox for them. That'll really help them out this time of year. All right, so here is the view over Chesterfield. I'm going to take this full here and I'm going to click through a few of these. There will be some pauses in between as the different cameras come up, but I want to take you on a little tour of what we're looking at today. So here's over Chesterfield, and a couple of things I want to point out here is we have that snowfall along the roadways. You can see that's a shoulder road there just on the side. That is picking up. You can start to see it a little bit sticking to the trees as well as to the power lines. The main part of the roadway, though, is looking okay. Okay, so let's go over and check out how O'Fallon, Illinois is looking. This camera here will show us the road conditions, and you can see not much is sticking here. We do have a little bit in our parking lot, slightly on the shoulder. Most of it is falling through the grass, so it's been very light in O'Fallon, Illinois, but still in the parking lots of some of these you can still see it's been nice and dry. Let's go see how Arnold is doing this morning. Arnold has been one spot that we've seen the snow pick up. The flurries have been spectacular looking, especially from this camera here. Some bigger snowflakes. You can see this grass is starting to see more of that snowfall stick to it versus O'Fallon that just hasn't had the snowfall as heavy as what Arnold is seeing. The roads here definitely look more on the wet side. However, you get off into your shoulders, you're off and on ramps. That's where you get a little bit of that snowfall. And then check out that intersection. This will be in the corner there where you can see those cars that were just starting to move now. That's showing you some areas where the snow is really stick. That is a little bit, goes up a hill there. So your more elevated roadways, that's where that snow is going to stick a little bit more just because it is colder on those surfaces. Let's go over to Old Town Florissant and see how Florissant is looking this morning. This is one spot. It's just showing you that it really depends on where you are. So we have snowfall in some areas that are covering sidewalks. O'Fallon Florissant is not one of those spots. It is starting to collect on the grass a little bit, but you can see your pavement is warm enough that it is not sticking there. Look at the steps heading up to the church there, and you can see that snowfall sticking there. So that's one spot you'll definitely want to salt today so you don't slip and fall tomorrow. Now, I was talking about a little bit earlier, but let's talk about Edwardsville, Illinois here. So Edwardsville is one spot that I have seen the snow probably the earliest. However, it does look fairly light right now. Those two cars that are off to the side, it looks like that little silver car and little black car that's on the left-hand side. So with those actually had snowfall on their roofs. You can see that is melted because the car is fairly warm. There's a little bit of snow in some driveways, but the main part of this street, even the sidewalks, are all looking good this morning as things have melted away. They've had a chance to put a little salt down. That does make a big difference. And the snowfall right here is fairly light, so it's just a little dusting out there right now. Now, I haven't checked on the Kirkwood Farmers Market in a while. This would tell us if we had some good snowfall rates there. And oh, look at some people out shopping for Christmas trees in the snow. Wow, magical, really. Look off to the parking lot there for the train station. You can see that snow is covering windshield, so it is time to break out that snow scraper, which now that I think of it, I need to find where mine is. But you need to find your snow scraper before you head out the door this morning. Otherwise, you're going to be wiping that snow off with your hands, and that's never very fun. The Kirkwood Farmers Market showing off that snow this morning. Your main parking lot, though, that looks all right. Looks like conditions there have the parking lot the snow has melted away. Here's Main Street, St. Charles. You might be wondering why people are walking in the middle of the road. Well, it's that time of year for Christmas traditions that they close Main Street. Parking can be a little difficult in that area, but I bet it's magical to walk along Main Street, St. Charles. The shops will be open, and then of course they have Christmas traditions where they have numerous characters out there. They are rain or shine, so those characters will be out in the snow today. Jack Frost was on our show earlier. He talked about how much he loved the snow and how it was going to be a beautiful day along Main Street. And even the organizer for Christmas Traditions says the snow doesn't stop people, that even sometimes the snow brings out people to Main Street, St. Charles for Christmas tradition. Santa Claus goes on parade, I think, twice on Saturdays. So something to look forward there along Main Street, St. Charles. Cozy for sure. Everyone's bundled up. And it looks like our conditions there are doing all right. They'll certainly have plenty of salt along our sidewalks, but you're still going to want to watch your step wherever you go. We haven't checked out the botanical gardens this morning. Let's see how things are looking there. And it's well, snowing, very light snow though. Now the Botanical Gardens does not have heated pavement, but you can see their pavement there has been warm enough that it is not collecting on the pavement. They also have probably put a bit of salt down ahead of time because they have garden glow going on tonight. Now the airport, we have had a few delays. However, I can tell you, my parents are coming in on a 12 o'clock flight today, and their flight has not been delayed at all. So our airport looking all right. You can see some of that snow though collecting on our rooftops. You could barely make out some Southwest planes in the background and a few snowflakes flying. Your off and on ramps by the airport, those will of course be a problem. We should know the drill by now, but there has been quite a few notifications, which let me actually check this morning and see what else we have seen this morning as far as traffic conditions. Let's see here. I know Troy was closed in 61. We had the multiple accidents there. We've got an accident in Boone County at 70 eastbound and westbound are at a standstill due to crashes with slick road conditions. That was something I was really worried about, especially with how much traffic we can expect on 70 today due to the Mizzou game. And then just reports of lots of snow covering our roadways and crashes due to slick conditions. It is the first snow of the season, so often many people are sort of relearning how to drive on the snow, if you will. Now we're going to show you Worldwide Technology Raceway. This is just going to show kind of those overcast, snowy conditions out there, but no snow that is sticking to the trees. 100 above the park might show us some cool snowflakes, but all we're going to see from 100 above the park is that overcast condition, a little bit of that snowfall. We're going to go back now to some of our weather graphics and just talk about what we can expect here through the rest of the day today. So let's go over that future cast again for you. We talked about this a little bit earlier at the very beginning of this, but we'll go over it again just so you have it with your current conditions. Oh, some folks are asking, Osama is working our assignment desk and he's sending me your comments. He said folks are asking about thunder snow. Now, I have not seen any reports of thunder snow. Of course, it is possible. Thunder snow is incredibly rare, though. So if you do hear thunder out there, please do message us or try to record it from a safe space, of course, because thunder snow is incredibly rare. A phenomenon I would love to see. I have not yet seen it in person. I've been in studio when we've had it, but I have not gotten to witness it in person. I have not seen any reports, though, from the National Weather Service about thunder snow. We do have a southerly influence today with a little bit more moisture. It is possible. It is just a very rare phenomena. Okay, let's go over our future cast here and what we can expect through the day today. So our future cast, we talked about this earlier, but I'll show it again since it'll really help you plan out your day. We will have that snowfall track through. It'll be light in some areas, heavier in other spots. That's just the kind of pesky nature about snow is how it bands. There will be bands of heavy snow as it taps into some moisture. Other spots will be drier. Snow is really a microclimate kind of forecast. So here's 2 o'clock for us. You can see right along that where we expect it to be a little bit warmer. Now I do expect snow in this area that is showing green right now. I expect it to be very light though, and then we'll have some heavier snowfall right where it's just a touch warmer. Most of this hugs Interstate 70 throughout the entire day today. Before getting out of the way for tonight, we will have a few very light, minimal flurries that aren't going to do much and certainly not accumulate overnight tonight. As far as our potential snowfall goes for the day today, of course, snow, the tricky thing is it bands, so some areas could have 2 inches, some areas could have, a trace or just a dusting. Our best example of this, if you remember last year, roughly around this time actually, along Belleville. Belleville had almost 6 inches of snow, and then if you started to drive up to the north, no snow at all. In a matter of, you could only drive about 15-20 minutes and there was no snow. That's how tricky snow can be to forecast for totals. But I do think for our areas to the north, they got a little jump start on everybody else here, especially to the north and to the west of St. Louis. That jump start will really help cool conditions, so that snow is expected to stick more. Certainly, if we had cool conditions, the snow we're having now would amount to something, but because our ground temperatures are warm, a lot of it is melting away pretty quickly, and it's just now starting to accumulate. However, for these areas further up to our north and west, you were a little bit cooler. You had that snow a little earlier, so you're going to spend more time in the snow. which means more accumulation, about 2 to 4 inches of snowfall, even the potential for 5 out there in some areas. Anywhere you are with that snow, please do send your pictures. Not only do I love to see them, but we love to share them here at 5 on Your Side. So please do send those in. 1 to 3 inches of snowfall for those counties in what I call the cornflower blue area. You can see St. Louis, it almost dips down into that 2-inch territory, but some spots further down to the south, so South County, even into Washington and Franklin counties, could see closer to 1 inch to less of snowfall. So dusting to 1 inch for those spots. And then 1 to 3 inches over Illinois. It's really going to depend on where you are. I do think further to the north, you have your better chances of hitting that 3-inch mark with that snowfall. And then Rolla, Farmington, we're really looking at just a dusting for you, but even a dusting can cause issues on the roadway because of freeze and refreeze with that icing conditions out there. Everything we're gonna get is going to have a hard freeze overnight. It's gonna be a very crunchy snowfall that compacts very easily though because of all the moisture that we have out there. That compaction of the snow makes for some pretty tricky conditions as you walk out the door tomorrow morning. Bringing this a little closer, and you can see Troy, one of the spots where we have the interstate closed there at 61. That is going to see some heavier snowfall today, up to more like 3 to 4 inches into St. Charles, Jerseyville, and into Alton. Further down to the south, you can see Chesterfield and St. Louis. We're looking more at that sort of dusting to 1-inch range, a little bit higher for Illinois. Throughout the rest of our day today, we're going to see temperatures in the low 30s. So we'll take this full for you just so you can see how the rest of our day is going to progress. I'm also going to check our messages to see if anybody has had any other questions for the day today. And so far, no. I'm also going to check with the National Weather Service, see if there's anything more to report there, because it has been a bit of a busy morning with road conditions, just still the same standstill. So I guess that's a positive to report, no additional accidents to report on. But 32 degrees for our day today. The snowfall that we do have with us, that is going to make for some cold conditions overnight tonight. So 32 degrees for the day today. We drop down to 24. Tomorrow will not be a weather impact alert. We're going to be at 33 degrees. We're going to drop down to 20, 36 on Monday, 39 on Tuesday. And this is what makes it so hard for me sometimes to get out and shovel my driveway. Now, do I always make sure that the mailman has a nice clear option to the mailbox? Yes, absolutely. But sometimes I just risk it, because why shovel and spend all the time when we're going to be up to 39 degrees on Tuesday? That'll be a lot of melting. 51 on Wednesday, it's going to be gone like it never happened. So you just wait a few days and you don't have to shovel at all. My husband, though, he likes to get out. We have a snow blower that was given to us, and any excuse, Gary Frank will be out there with the snow blower. Let's go over your weather impact forecast for you just one more time here to go over the key highlights for the day today. So through 6 p.m., we have a winter weather advisory from the National Weather Service. No surprise with that snow out there. I expect difficult driving conditions between about 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. for the metro area. Some spots that could even extend closer to 5 p.m. depending on the radar. And I want you to salt your walkways, just because everything we have, this is a wet snow. It's going to compact really easily. Some spots under your feet, under your car, even just walking in can help melt that snow. It also compacts it. It's going to make things pretty icy for tomorrow morning, and you don't want to start your Christmas season off with a slip and fall and a trip to the emergency department. I will show you the radar view just one more time. Let's see how that is looking for us this morning. We are all under freezing conditions. Now here is what the models were showing earlier. You see that little bit of rainfall that's in behind this area here. So this is some drier air, bit of rainfall. I do expect that to kind of dip through into Rolla later on in the day today with a little push of warmth, because believe it or not, we actually have winds out of the south right now. So our winds out of the south, that's what's drawing up a bit of moisture. This is sort of, I wouldn't say it's a worst case scenario, but this was certainly the scenario where we could see more snowfall throughout the day. So on our maps here, it shows the little wind icons here. We have that cool air, 15 in Des Moines. Glad we're not in Des Moines or Moline at 17. 30 degrees in St. Louis. However, we have this sort of convergence of the cold air and the warm air from the south. It's that warm air from the south. Well, think about where it's coming from. It's coming from the Gulf of Mexico. So it's going to draw in that moist air, that more tropical air for us. And even though it doesn't seem tropical, it's going to come up and it's going to provide us a little bit more moisture, which is why our snowfall totals are a little higher than before. Had this system had not had much southerly influence and it had just been directly out of the north, it'd be just a dusting and pretty boring altogether. Boring if you don't like snow. I love snow, so I want to see more snow out there. All right, our radar view though, you can see it's just widespread right now. These lighter shades here, when you get to this is almost flurry sort of territory. Then you get into some more heavier snowfall. I'd say our snowfall rate has been close to about 1/4 inch an hour, so not particularly impressive. Some spots have seen up to 1/2 inch an hour. Gary did the Mizzou forecast yesterday, of course, Mizzou grad himself. Tailgating at 11 a.m., 27 degrees, kickoff at 2:30. Gosh, this timing, not great with people trying to get to the game out there, probably not getting up super early to make it to some things, or maybe skipping tailgate because of the weather, but still wanting to go to the game. Just difficult road conditions out there. I mentioned earlier that in Boone County, 70 is currently at a standstill due to snowy conditions. And then post game, it'll still be icy. Your on and off ramps, that snow will have had a chance to compact to, so very slippery conditions. I'm quite worried about people as they head out to that and make their way back into St. Louis. I'll leave you with our snow totals, our potential snowfall. Remember, snow does band, so some areas will see higher totals and other areas will see less snowfall, but I do expect most of our snow along Interstate 70 and off to the west will be our highest snowfall, especially west and north of the St. Louis area. It should be a really beautiful day though for snowfall. It'll be a nice sticky snow that's great for the kids to play in. That snowfall will be easy to compact into snowballs and snowmen, so please send us all of your pictures out there. And if you can, postpone hitting the roads today if you're heading back from your holiday travel. I would try to leave a little later on in the evening when our crews have had a better chance to hit the roadways, or maybe you could just wait until midday tomorrow. Midday tomorrow will look pretty good. We're even going to have a bit of sunshine, and sunshine, even with cool conditions, will help melt some of that snow. I'm meteorologist Tracy Hinson with your weather impact forecast from 5 on your